19 events that showed the real tension between Camilla and the public. Camilla Parker-Bowles was the other woman who became a royal. Camilla's journey from being viewed as the villain who broke up the fairy tale marriage of King Charles and Princess Diana to eventually becoming Queen Consort has been rocky, to say the least. Even after all these years, her public image remains controversial. While King Charles eventually made Camilla his second wife in 2005, tensions lingered. Specific incidents over the years showed that the British public was reluctant to fully accept Camilla as King Charles' wife and future Queen Consort. In this video, we'll go over 19 key events that revealed the true tension between Camilla and the public. From hostile encounters to strategic PR moves, we'll see how Camilla's contended with being a vilified figure among the British people. Number 1. Early public reactions. When Camilla's relationship with King Charles was first revealed, it was met with shock, outrage, and disapproval by many in the public. At the time, King Charles was of course still married to the hugely popular Princess Diana, who had won over the hearts of the nation with her warmth, compassion, and relatability. The reveal of King Charles' infidelity generated intense backlash across British society and media. On one side, Camilla was painted as a scheming villain who had seduced King Charles and broken up the royal marriage. On the other, King Charles was seen as a cheater who had betrayed the charming Princess Diana. Overall, public sentiment was very much on Princess Diana's side. She was viewed sympathetically as the wronged wife, while Camilla faced vitriol and was cast as the other woman, responsible for the demise of the fairy tale marriage. Headlines were ruthless, using unflattering nicknames for Camilla that stuck for years. Phone-in polls showed the overwhelming majority of Britons blamed Camilla over King Charles for the affair and subsequent marital troubles. There was a clear sense that Camilla was unwanted and unacceptable as King Charles' partner. The intensity of this early criticism set the tone for the turbulence that was to follow in how she was perceived by significant segments of the public. Even decades later, these initial reactions influenced ongoing reluctance and distrust towards fully embracing Camilla in her royal role. Number 2. Princess Diana's Panorama interview, 1995. Princess Diana's interview with BBC's Panorama program in 1995 was a defining moment that further intensified public animosity towards Camilla. In the explosive interview, Princess Diana uttered the infamous phrase, "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded," directly calling out Camilla's ongoing presence and role in her marriage to King Charles. Her candid public account of betrayal and heartbreak prompted a massive outpouring of sympathy from the public. More than 20 million people watched the interview, with many perceiving Princess Diana as a wronged woman, finally speaking her truth. The backlash against Camilla was renewed, with tabloids branding her as a marriage wrecker. The interview made clear Princess Diana saw Camilla as a key factor in the breakdown of her marriage. Rightly or wrongly, it reinforced public perceptions of Camilla as an undesirable figure who contributed significantly to Princess Diana's unhappiness. The interview's impact endures today, with the 3 of us quote remaining widely known. Number 3. Media portrayal post-divorce. In the years following King Charles and Princess Diana's divorce in 1996, the UK tabloids were relentless in vilifying Camilla in their coverage. She was regularly referred to by cruel nicknames about her affair with King Charles. Meanwhile, Princess Diana continued to be portrayed in an increasingly sympathetic light as the injured ex-wife who had suffered greatly in her marriage. Stories emphasized Princess Diana's devotion as a mother, her humanitarian work, and her status as a global icon, admired for her beauty and compassion. By contrast, Camilla was painted as a scheming, cold figure who had destroyed Princess Diana's happiness. She was notable for her absence from most royal family events and gatherings. The negative media portrayal undoubtedly skewed public views further against accepting Camilla in an enhanced royal role, despite her relationship with King Charles being an open secret. It would take extensive PR efforts over subsequent years to gradually soften this consistently unflattering coverage. Number 4. Princess Diana's death, 1997. The tragic death of Princess Diana in 1997 had enormous ramifications for how Camilla was perceived. The massive outpouring of grief, mourning, and sympathy for Princess Diana reinforced her status as the people's princess. There was intense scrutiny of the royal family's response to the tragedy. Meanwhile, Camilla deliberately stayed out of the public eye during this period, knowing Princess Diana's passing had made her an even more controversial figure. In the immediate aftermath, there was an intense questioning of whether the public could ever accept Camilla taking on a senior role at King Charles' side. Polls showed a majority rejected the idea, believing it would dishonor Princess Diana's memory. Years later, the ripple effects of the accident were still evident whenever anniversary remembrances prompted renewed affection for Princess Diana and comparisons to Camilla. For many, Princess Diana had become a saint-like figure, making acceptance of her romantic rival a continued struggle. Number 5. Camilla and King Charles' first public appearance, 1999. In 1999, King Charles and Camilla took the significant step of appearing together in public for the first time at a birthday party for Camilla's sister. While their relationship had been an open secret for years, this marked Camilla's first visible outing as King Charles' partner. Reactions were mixed, highlighting the tensions around accepting her. Some well-wishers gathered to support the couple and were pleased to see King Charles with his long-term love. However, outraged protesters also made their voices loudly heard outside the venue. Princess Diana Forever signs were displayed, hostile chants broke out, and royal correspondents fiercely debated the propriety of their public debut. The event put Camilla undeniably into the spotlight. Media coverage dissected the public reception they received, with many outlets deeming the response an unfavorable one. It fueled ongoing debates about whether marrying Camilla was too controversial a move for King Charles if he wished to be king. Number 6. Public appearances in the early 2000s. In the years leading up to their 2005 wedding, King Charles and Camilla's public appearances together routinely drew negative reactions from ardent Princess Diana fans. Their outings were often met with small but vocal protests, hostile placards, and intermittent booing. Tabloid stories would gleefully highlight incidents of the public hurling insults at Camilla or pointedly ignoring her presence. Polls during this period routinely showed a majority still did not want Camilla ever using the title of Princess of Wales due to its association with Princess Diana. King Charles' team worked extensively on encouraging gradual acceptance of Camilla, but pockets of resistance remained strong. Every royal walkabout or event had the potential for flare-ups of anti-Camilla sentiment. There was ongoing scrutiny by commentators of whether crowds were receptive to Camilla or if they continued giving her the cold shoulder. After each appearance, Camilla's team would need to evaluate the public reception she received as the thermometer of her improving yet delicate image. Number 7. Wedding to King Charles, 2005. King Charles and Camilla's wedding in 2005 was a major milestone on the path to cementing her formal royal status as the Duchess of Cornwall. But initially, it fueled heated public debate. Sensitivities around whether Camilla should use the title Princess of Wales prompted an official announcement she would be styled Duchess of Cornwall instead. Polls showed the public remained split on whether they should marry at all. On the day itself, crowds were small and mixed in tone, with some supporters and protesters gathered. The ceremony was a modest civil affair, acknowledging the divided public mood. Media coverage leading up to the big day had regularly referenced the ongoing controversy around Camilla's image. Several politicians voiced objections, tens of thousands signed petitions against the marriage, and public interest was relatively muted. While the wedding presented major progress in legitimizing Camilla's status, it also highlighted tensions still simmered around her acceptance as King Charles' wife and future Queen Consort. Number 8. Memorial services for Princess Diana. In the years after Princess Diana's passing, Camilla's presence at memorial services and tributes honoring the late princess highlighted lingering tensions. Some questioned if it was appropriate for Camilla to participate in remembrances focused on her romantic rival's life. At the 2007 memorial service marking 10 years since Princess Diana's death, Camilla kept a low profile, but her attendance sparked debate. Supporters saw it as an important show of unity with the royal family. Yet critics argued the occasion should center solely around Princess Diana's legacy, without distraction from figures like Camilla. Similar discussions flowed around Prince William's wedding in 2011, which coincided with what would have been Princess Diana's 50th birthday. While Camilla attended, some felt her presence diverted attention from reminiscing about Princess Diana's absence. It reflected the ongoing complex public sentiments torn between gradually welcoming Camilla while still lionizing Princess Diana. Number 9. Public opinion polls. In the years following the revelation of King Charles and Camilla's relationship, polls routinely highlighted significant portions of the public harbored reservations or disapproval towards Camilla. Questioning often focused on whether people supported her using the Princess of Wales title, whether she should ever be Queen Consort, and approval ratings. Results consistently pointed to opposition remaining strong in certain demographics, even as sentiments improved gradually overall. For example, a 2003 poll showed only 8% favored Camilla taking the title Princess of Wales, and a 2010 poll found less than 50% approved of her becoming Queen Consort. While polls were not the sole indicator, they did reinforce that segments of the public remained uncomfortable embracing Camilla fully. The figures were regularly cited by the media when discussing the ongoing debate about the role she should occupy. Number 10. Royal events and engagements. During King Charles and Camilla's royal engagements and walkabouts over the years, there was intense scrutiny by commentators dissecting the public reception towards Camilla. Things like crowd size, whether people looked actively engaged with Camilla, if flowers were handed directly to her, or if derogatory shouts were made were all parsed as gauges of her acceptance. If King Charles drew the bulk of attention, it could be portrayed as a snub to Camilla. Comparisons were often made to receptions or figures like Princess Diana and Princess Catherine. The subtext was that Camilla's popularity still lagged, though more positive signs eventually did emerge. But initially, every royal event carried scrutiny for signs the public was resistant or hostile, which could influence ongoing perceptions. Number 11. Media comparisons to Princess Diana. In coverage of major events like birthdays, fashion choices, parenting styles, and charity work, the media made frequent comparisons between Camilla and Princess Diana. This was seen in everything from polo event outfits being contrasted to analyses of their differing approaches to raising children. While perhaps inevitable in most cases, the comparisons were not flattering to Camilla. Even complimentary coverage of Camilla contained caveats about how she would never match Princess Diana's glamour, compassion, and relatability level. The ongoing benchmarking of Princess Diana, who was portrayed as the embodiment of virtue, meant Camilla faced an uphill battle for favorable press. These unflattering comparisons reinforced lingering public sentiment that Camilla paled in comparison to Princess Diana's legacy. Number 12. The Queen's initial reluctance. In the years following the affair revelations, the Queen herself was cautious and reluctant about accepting Camilla publicly or allowing her such privileges as being part of formal events. This hesitancy at the highest level was often cited as reflecting a broader lack of public readiness to embrace Camilla. The Queen refrained from formally meeting with Camilla for years after the relationship came to light, pointedly excluding her from occasions like the Golden Jubilee. Her position added credibility to the viewpoint that Camilla was not entitled to the benefits of a senior royal role. While the Queen eventually sanctioned King Charles and Camilla's marriage, her earlier hesitancy gave the impression even Her Majesty harbored doubts about Camilla's suitability. It was a major hurdle in gaining public validation. Number 13. Commentary by Princess Diana's friends and aides. Statements made over the years by Princess Diana's inner circle served to reinforce public negativity towards Camilla. Whether giving high-profile interviews, leaking stories to the press, or publishing tell-all books, they routinely fueled the perception of Camilla as an undeserving interloper. Former aides cast Camilla as a calculating figure who contributed significantly to Princess Diana's unhappiness. Friends of Princess Diana emphasized Camilla's ongoing presence made the princess feel betrayed. Supportive commentary about Princess Diana's virtues and trials boosted public affection for her. The sympathetic insider accounts depicting Princess Diana as wronged compounded hostility towards Camilla as the perceived culprit in her woes. It both reflected and stoked ongoing public distrust of her. Number 14. The Crown's portrayal. The popular Netflix drama The Crown introduced Camilla and King Charles' affair to a whole new audience. While dramatized, its unflattering portrayal of their secret relationship renewed negative associations. Reviews and reactions on social media reignited debates about Camilla's character and motivations. For some, it was their first impression of Camilla, casting her as a somewhat unsavory figure in the saga of King Charles and Princess Diana's marriage. Renewed sympathy for Princess Diana also stirred criticism that Camilla was undeserving of her royal role. The show underscored how even decades later, depicting Camilla remains contentious and touches lingering sensitivities around the love triangle. Number 15. Tabloid headlines. For years, Camilla was subjected to sometimes ruthless tabloid coverage in the UK press. Attention-grabbing front-page headlines, unflattering paparazzi photographs, and articles raking over past scandals kept her controversial backstory firmly in public memory. Even decades on, some tabloids would tie Camilla to Princess Diana-related anniversaries and stoke old debates about her worthiness. The outlets often gave prominence to negative commentary from Princess Diana loyalists as well. While she also had staunch supporters, this sort of sensationalized coverage reinforced skepticism and suspicion towards Camilla among certain demographics. Number 16. Social media reaction. The rise of social media brought a torrent of real-time public commentary about Camilla, with platforms like Twitter and Instagram allowing uncensored critiques. Under any news about Camilla, reactions ranged from effusive praise to absolute outrage. Supportive comments were outnumbered by those declaring she could never measure up to Princess Diana's legacy or was undeserving of her role. Hashtags like "Not My Queen Consort" trended with critical tweets and images. While not an absolute measure, the unfiltered social media reactions gave a platform for lingering negativity towards Camilla to be voiced anonymously. Number 17. King Charles' image and popularity. As King Charles' official companion and later wife, public perceptions of Camilla were also continually impacted by his popularity. During periods when King Charles enjoyed public support and warmer press, this aura extended somewhat to Camilla too. But the reverse was equally true. When scandals or missteps damaged King Charles' reputation, Camilla suffered collateral damage with a downturn in her coverage and polls as well. Her reputation was intrinsically tied to the oft-shifting sentiments towards the king over the decades. She reaped some benefits during his PR upswings, but also felt the fallout when his image took hits. Number 18. Royal biographies and tell-all books. Over the years, several explosive royal insider biographies have prompted spikes of focus on Camilla's past. Books by journalists and former palace staff have contained new revelations or perspectives about Camilla and King Charles' affair, as well as speculation about private interactions with Princess Diana. These books reignited old debates about whether Camilla deserved her status as the wife of the future king. They underscored how deeply the scandal resides in public memory, despite Camilla's efforts to move on. For some segments of the public, the books reinforced existing distrust in Camilla, stemming from her controversial beginnings. Number 19. Gradual shift in public perception. While the tensions and periodic controversies around public acceptance of Camilla cannot be ignored, there were slow but steady signs that perceptions grew more favorable over time. Her extensive charity work, commitment to royal duties, and avoidance of drama and spectacle eventually won over some who had initially opposed her. Polls reflected gradual upticks in approval, even if she continued lagging behind the popularity of other senior royals. Annoyance at rehashing old scandals led to greater sympathy in some quarters. While the shift was slow and divisions remain, Camilla's undoubtedly carved out a firm role as a valued senior member of the royal family. And there you have it, a look back at 19 key events that encapsulated the ups and downs in public sentiment towards Camilla over the years. Her complex history and role within the royal family continue to prompt divided opinions, but what cannot be disputed is the incredible public journey and gradual evolution in acceptance that Camilla's undertaken since her controversial relationship with King Charles first came to light all those years ago. Let me know your thoughts on Camilla and King Charles down in the comments. Do you feel public opinion shifted towards greater acceptance of her today? Or do the ghosts of the past still loom large? Be sure to share, like the video if you found it interesting, and subscribe to the channel for more historical royal family content. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.